Stupid hair.
Stupid hair.
It's a waste. It's just a waste of like good energy to growing hair as opposed to putting that energy into being productive or living longer.
Yeah, but he said. Morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I have no hair, so I don't waste that energy.
I mean, you're going to live longer for it. I'm fully convinced that if your body does not have to put energy into growing hair, then you live longer.
That's how you feel today, for sure.
That is how I feel today, for sure.
That's good stuff.
Man, my morning has been weird. Like I couldn't wake up, so I did not do my walk this morning for like the first time in many weeks. It feels like, and so just got up and journaled and had some good things when journaling.
Cool.
And then I came over to get this whole thing fired up, and I have a rather presumptuous. So I had a DM from a guy who was trying to like pressure me into something, right? I don't even know really what he's trying to pressure me into, which is like part of the reason why it's just super easy for me to avoid.
Sure.
Right. And this is like a huge deal because this guy knows what he wants me to do, but it has not been communicated that to me. Right. Mm-hmm. So we've been kind of like chasing each other around the internet for a while. Right. He has a software. And so we've had some chats. I like the dude. He's a little too much into like passive income kind of thing, which, you know, if that's your thing, that's your thing. I don't really think there's, I think a lot of people love the idea of passive income, but I don't think it ever works out the way that most people think that it does.
Yeah, I think there's a lot more categorized in the passive income category than there actually are passive income opportunities.
Yeah, I would agree.
It exists. It's there. I mean, real estate's a great example, but yes.
Yeah, but like I mean, I don't know. So there's this line that's like the hardest million is your first million, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right. The once you have money, right, and you kind of have figured some stuff out, then it's just easier to make more money because you already have, you know, the fuel, which is money to get it started, right? And when you look at things like real estate, like, oh yeah, great investment, anybody can do this. Well, no, not anybody, right? Because it requires a decent chunk of change to get started, or 15 years, you know, or 5 to 7 years in a mortgage so that we can carve out enough equity to go do something with it. So,
or you know how to sell, because when I did my first stuff, I was just selling other people on why they should invest in me. I didn't use my money. I used their money.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
So, but you're right. And I think that's the first million thing. I definitely do think there's merit to the fact that once you have money, it's easier to make money. But I also think breaking to that first million is also very much about your ability to create a process that creates value over and over, well enough to get you to the million. And to me, that's even more valuable than the money. It's kind of like once you have a network, you can drop me in any city. And if you tell me what I can bring, it's my network. I'll leave everything else behind as long as I keep my network. So I think it's the same idea. Once you find a process that works, that's probably as important as the money itself, because then you can replicate it.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But once you get there, I mean, the money opens up just a bunch of doors is what it does that weren't there before. But it's almost like a college degree in a way that we used to think about college degrees. If I get a college degree, I can get a fantastic job and retire, right? Like that's kind of the lie that was told to us, right? Maybe some people, you know, I'm not saying it was a complete lie because it did work for people. But that's also, once you get your first million, you can get to 5, you can get to 10, you can get to 20. You could lose it all too. And you could have gotten lucky getting to the million.
Yeah.
Or like the Gary Vee, or even like, to go full circle on the passive income. You thought you had a passive income situation, and what you had was a market that you timed just right, and now it's gone, and now you have no business and no money. So,
good morning, Michelle. How are you today? Oh, the photo isn't working. At least not here on my screen.
What is
That's
it?
a bummer. Michelle's photo is not showing up in the overlay. Sorry, Michelle. But good morning.
I
Yeah.
see it.
Oh, you see it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just on my end then. Even
Yeah.
better. And so
Okay.
now this guy, he's like, because I just can't help myself. I said, look, I had a conversation about like Facebook software because that's what this guy does yesterday, and so that's why I'm following up on this chat. But last night at 10:45, he sent me a message. He removed it, and then the next message is, "But you ignore me." So there is that. Next message: "No reason to give you my secrets when you don't respond." And I was like, So I responded this morning, like while I was booting this up, and I said, "Hey, I'm not ignoring you. Is your software Pepper, right? Because Pepper is the one that I've seen and I've heard about and stuff." And I said, I know there are a couple of options out there. What's the difference?" And so then I put, also not a huge fan of this follow up. I had a conversation with someone about Facebook software yesterday, and that's why I'm replying. But this follow up wouldn't work if I hadn't had that chat. Just a heads up. So,
man, you love to stir the pot.
Well, I mean, know who you're talking to, right? Like this guy has followed me around and done the like he liked my stuff, and like the other day he's commenting in a way that is just to like, "Hey, I'm still here," kind of deal, right? He went and commented, "Hey, I hope you don't mind that I put a thumbs up on this post in the comment," and I'm like, I know exactly what you're doing. I know you're just trying to like get back in front of me and stuff like this, but we have not had a conversation. We have not had any sort of like structured agreement to have a conversation about this. It's always just passing in the DMs. And this is kind of the bad thing about DM selling, right? Is that people just pick up and put down these DM conversations effortlessly, right? I'm over here, I'm working on this thing, and then ping, I'm over here and I'm looking at another screen and I'm lost. Mm-hmm. But this guy has not tried to get me really onto a call. There's been no real discussion about like why I think I would need his software. So he's allowing it to this day. Exactly, just kind of like right here in this very loosey goosey conversation. And this is the thing. So now he's kind of going off a little bit. He's like, did you know that most of your sites don't work? Well, I think they do work. And now he's just kind of going through this thing, and like, I don't know if he thinks he's providing value, but it's coming across very finger waggy, I guess is like the thing.
Yeah. It's funny because he's trying to sell you and you're trying to train him, and so you're like doing this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely.
He sounds like a guy that really wants training, doesn't he?
Oh no!
Those feel like that's the best.
Here's the deal: like nobody like actually wants training. They just want to be good at the thing with no real effort, which doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah. But here's John. Like, I mean, here's the dude wagging his finger. John telling him that he's not a good human because he doesn't respond to DMs, which is ridiculous to tell a stranger that they're horrible. And here's John. Bye.
Oh man, that's pretty funny, because now at this point I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got, I don't know, 8 messages from this dude now.
So I'm curious though, like, could he turn this around? Like, could he get you? Like, if he recovered, right, and he was like, you know what, you're right, appreciate you calling me out, let's start over, and then he took you down the path and you liked what he had to sell you, is that recoverable? Or do you get to a point where you're like, I'm good?
I think it's totally recoverable, right? If you do it the right way.
That's good.
I think I think there's a way to kind of like walk it back. I mean, I think there is a line where you poke the bear, you stay in too hard, right? Because you can die on any hill you want, right? So like if this is just who this guy is, and this is like how he communicates with everybody and stuff like that, okay, that's totally fine. He's gonna lose some deals because he's gonna blow some people off, and you just have to be okay with that, right? It's not about trying to be something you're not. It's about being really okay with the decisions that you make. So if you're intentional about how you're communicating and the things that you're saying, then that is one thing. But what happens is when we get emotionally invested in, oh, I've been following you around and you really need this and all of this stuff, it colors the interactions in ways that we sometimes don't even see there in the moment.
Yeah, and I don't like it's a huge turnoff for me when people are accusatory when they're trying to sell me and they're accusatory of my actions. I'm like, bro, I don't even know you. Like, why are you pointing a finger at me? Like, you've seen a snippet of me on the internet.
Yeah.
And like that is like most of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, I'm trying to remember even at any point where I've given someone like that a chance. But I blow those people off right away. Like if one message, I'm like, okay, if this is your tactic, I'm done because we're not going to have a productive conversation probably because you're going to just tell me how I'm doing things wrong versus listening to what I need.
Well, and the important thing at this point is that if this guy was going for being liked, like he's a little bit off the mark.
Sure.
Right. But if he's so now I have to find like trust in the software that he has. Right. So if I trust that software works, I can still make the purchase because it's not about like liking him. It's about fulfilling my need of like, does this software work? And there's a handful of versions that all do the exact same thing. And when you do some reading, you find out that one stole from this and one stole from that. And, you know, like the creators are all like indignant about it, but I'm sure that like, anytime a new piece of tech shows up, the closest thing that it resembles is indignant about the fact that it was, you know, ripped off. And these could be exact ripoffs, and I don't know, but it's just kind of my view from the outside of it.
So as a sales trainer, do you ever choose not to reward someone just because, like with the sale, just because you don't like the things that they did? Like, does that ever cross your mind? Because like that's crossing my mind right now. Like, okay, I might go buy it somewhere else because I'm not going to reward you with the sale.
That's a really good question. I mean, for me, you bring up a good point, right? Because if he's like this in his sales process, like what's it going to be like if I get stuck on something? You're going to be you're going to be super nice and welcoming and available for like non-judgy conversations at that point. Right. Maybe not, right? And that is something I need to think about. Like mentally, my mind goes to, if the software does what I need it to do, I'll just buy it, right? Like whether or not I want to hang out with the guy or not.
Well, I wasn't even thinking from that angle. So that's even another piece. I was thinking more like, if he gets another sale and you're it, he's going to go around thinking that he did the right thing. I made another sale. See, it worked.
Yeah.
And when someone calls him out on it, he's like, it's always worked for me. Look, I just sold to John Hill and he does sales.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's a good question. I mean, I think that's a difficult line to toe, right? Because as much as I like to like try to help and provide guidance, right? Sometimes out of frustration, I don't really do I'm not going to put myself in a bad spot in order to teach somebody like else a lesson.
Yeah. Right? Not go out of your way.
Yeah. So if I need the product or service, but I hate the sales technique, but I still see value in the product or service, I'll still buy it. But if there's other options, then I might go explore the other options to go find like the right fit for me.
Right. Yeah. Because it's like, that's one of those weird things that we could probably talk a while about. This might be a podcast or a topic for Sales Throwdown is, are there right and wrong sales techniques? Clearly there's different styles for sure, but like, are there right and wrong ones?
You know, I mean,
because accusatory to me feels like a wrong technique because it's against human psychology. It's something that doesn't get you anywhere and it hurts you, it doesn't help you. So to me, I might categorize that there, but I don't know, right? Because that's not my area of expertise.
So I've over the course of this year, I've stopped looking at it as like right and wrong. And I've just started thinking about it as like, are you aware of how you're communicating or not? Mm-hmm. Do you have a level of self-awareness that like indicates that you can put yourself in the shoes of the other person? Like, would you enjoy this kind of follow-up? Would you enjoy this kind of conversation? Would you enjoy this kind of reach out? Because if you wouldn't, why are you expecting anybody else to? Like,
well, people are blind to that a lot of times, right? Because like, oh yeah, like this, why wouldn't I? I'm doing the right thing here. I'm steering you the right way. Of course I would. But you're like, really? But are you really thinking about that?
Well, there's the line of it, right? So there's that line that like indignant of well, we're better. Like, why wouldn't you buy us just because we're better? Right. And, because like that, that happens a lot. Right. And then like the middle line is, hey, right, we do things differently than the other people. If there's, if there's any facing of that in your business, then it might be worth a conversation, but it might not be worth it as well. Right.
Yep.
Prime example, when I was working at the bank and was selling investments and products and stuff like this, we had an annuity product. It was called an annuity, right? And there's some baggage around the term annuity that was paying like 4.5% versus a 5-year CD, which was paying 2%. So me as the C at the time, before I knew any of this, I would call my people, be like, hey, I've got some other options. You want to come in? They would say, sure. I would come in and I'd be like, look, you can make 2% more here. Mm-hmm. You want that, right? Why don't you want the 2%? Mm-hmm. You want this, right? And so there wasn't any, because of the weight of that word, because there was a lack of knowledge about like what the product was and everything, it was just super easy to say, no, I'm not interested. I'm going to stay where I'm at. And then as a guy who was very like logic driven, why would you do that? Right. So like, I'm kind of that like indignant, like idiot at that time who doesn't understand that there are other things important to this person that I'm talking to other than the 2 percentage points.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's true. Cool. Well, I hate to end it here, but it's
you got to go. School day.
8:01.
Sure.
That was a fun sprint.
For sure. Okay, cool. Yeah. Kind of a standard day. I don't really have anything super crazy. And you have school, so we'll let you go and we'll talk about that. And then tomorrow, it's Thursday. That's when it happens.
Game on.
And it's a great day for Michelle because Jay is coming home, which is huge because I think he's been offshore for like 5 weeks now. So Michelle has been trying to like build out and, build a farm and crops and take care of the kids and everything for 5 weeks. And Jay's had this job for a while. And so normally it's like 3 weeks at a time, right? So going from 3 to 5 is pretty significant, right? Yeah. I'm super excited for her. So
awesome. Enjoy, Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle. Have a great day. Bill, have a good day at school, excuse me. And we'll catch up tomorrow, Thursday.
Right. Bye.
Bye.